Okay, so let's talk about AI. We've all been having fun with it, right? Generating text, making some wild images. But what if I told you that's kind of like learning the alphabet, and we're about to write a novel? Today, we are moving past just using AI as a one-off tool and into building smart, automated systems that actually work for you even when you're not looking.
Does this feel a little too real? You've got these incredible AI models, but you're still stuck in that loop. You know the one. Copy from your email, tab over, paste into the AI, wait for it, copy the response, tab back, paste it into the reply. It's powerful, for sure, but it's also a ton of manual, mind-numbing grunt work. There's got to be a better way, right?
Well, there is, and it's all about making this one crucial shift, moving from manual work to automated systems. Look at this. On the left, that's you as the doer, trapped in that copy-paste cycle. But on the right, that's you as the overseer, the director. You design the workflow, and the system does the work for you. It's a total game changer.
So what do you actually get out of making this shift? I mean, what are the real, tangible benefits? Let's dive into the automation advantage.
120? What's that? Well, that is the number of hours you get back every single year just by automating 30 minutes of repetitive stuff a day. 30 minutes? That adds up to 3 full 40-hour work weeks. Think about that for a second. 3 weeks of your life that you're currently spending on tasks a machine could just do.
And you know, this isn't just about getting time back. It's about reclaiming your focus, your mental energy. When you stop wasting brain power on the boring, repetitive tasks, you free up your mind for the stuff that actually matters. The big picture strategy, the creative breakthroughs, and, actually talking to other human beings.
And all of this leads to this really powerful idea called super agency. This is the end goal. You're not just doing things faster. You are fundamentally amplifying your own abilities. You're not just one person anymore. You're the manager of a digital team that works 24/7 and never, ever complains. Okay, so that's the why. It sounds awesome, I know, but how does this stuff actually work under the hood? Let's pull back the curtain and look at the anatomy of an automation. So at its core, automation has always been about if this, then that logic. But here's what's completely new, the AI. See, old automations were kind of dumb. If the data wasn't formatted perfectly, the whole thing would just break. But a modern AI-enhanced automation can actually understand the information it's working with. It gets the context, which makes it so much more flexible and powerful.
Now, to build any of these workflows, you really only need to remember 3 key parts. I call them the 3 pillars. It's a super simple but really effective way to think about it. You've got the trigger, which is the when, the logic, which is the AI brain, and the action, which is the do. Let's look at each one.
So, first up is the trigger. This is just the starting pistol. It's the thing that kicks the whole process off. It could be based on time, like every morning at 9 a.m., do this. It could be based on an event, like when a new email arrives in my inbox. Or it could even be manual. You just click a button to launch a whole sequence of events whenever you want.
Pillar 2 is the logic. And honestly, this is where all the magic happens. This is the AI brain in the middle. Instead of just passing data from point A to point B, we send it to an AI to make a decision. The AI can categorize things, like is this a high-priority sales lead? It can summarize a huge document, or it can even draft a perfectly polite reply to an email.
And finally, we have pillar 3, the action. This is the payoff. It's the tangible thing that happens at the end of the workflow. This could be sending an email or a Slack message. It could be saving a file neatly into a folder in the cloud, or it could even be creating a brand new social media graphic completely from scratch.
All right, so how do these 3 pillars, trigger, logic, action, actually come together in the real world? Let's check out a few super practical examples of your new digital workforce in action. These are things you could probably set up this week. Let's start with the one thing we all struggle with, the inbox. So the trigger is a new email arrives. The logic? An AI reads it and figures out if it's urgent or not. And the action? Well, it could do a bunch of things. It could slap on the right label, draft a reply for you to review, and only send a notification to your phone if it's actually important. Imagine that. Or what about content creation? The trigger is you hit publish on a new blog post. Instantly, the AI logic kicks in and generates, say, 5 different captions for social media and even a custom graphic. Then, the action is it schedules all of those posts to go out across all your platforms. Content distribution? Just solved.
Or how about this one, a personal research assistant? The trigger is time-based, 7 a.m. every single morning. The logic is an AI that goes out and scans all your favorite news sites for keywords you care about.
and then summarizes the most important articles. The action? You get a personalized daily briefing email in your inbox ready to go with your morning coffee. Okay, I'm willing to bet your mind is buzzing with ideas right now. But hold on. Before you dive in head first, it is so important to start the right way. Let's go over a few key rules for how to start smart. First things first, you're going to need a platform. They kind of fall into three main buckets. You've got your simple integrators, which are awesome for beginners. Then there are the visual logic builders, for when you want to build more complex, branching workflows. And now we're seeing more and more native assistants built right into the tools you already use, where you can just tell it what you want in plain English. Now, no matter what tool you pick, please follow this rule. Rule number 1, start small, then scale. Don't try to automate your entire life on day one. I promise you'll just get frustrated. Instead, pick one tiny repetitive task that bugs you every day. Automate that, get a win, build some confidence, and then you can go bigger. Rule number 2 is what I call the manual first rule. And it's simple. You cannot automate a process you don't fully understand. Before you even think about building the automation, do the task by hand a couple of times. Write down every single click. If you can't explain the steps to another person, there is no way you can explain them to a computer.
And finally, rule number 3, always add a human approval step. This is your safety net. It's absolutely critical, especially when your automation is going to talk to the outside world, like sending an email to a customer. Let the AI do 90% of the work, let it draft that email, but you need to be the one who gives it a final once-over and hits send. When you put all this together, the 3 pillars, the real-world examples, and these smart rules, you make that ultimate mindset shift. You go from being the person doing all the tedious work in your projects to being the director of your projects, orchestrating this whole amazing digital workforce.
And that brings us to the end. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Look at your own day, at all those little copy-paste jobs and repetitive clicks. What is the very first, most annoying, tedious task that you're going to teach your new AI assistant how to do for you?